into the Labor Education Advancement Program. That's when I met Clyde Hupp, who went on to become the Secretary Treasurer of the Tacoma Pierce County Labor Council. He and I met, and they sent us down to Atlanta, Georgia for our first training program, and that was in 1970.
And at some point, say 73 or 4, Harold and Clyde Hupp came to the office. They said, Tom, guess what? We got the State Department, then it was Highways to give us a contract. I think that contract was $230,000. And wherever work was done on freeways that's happening right now on Interstate 5, we hired additional staff and they would follow the work. We had a subcontract in Yakima with Henry Beauchamp. We helped to place construction workers from Portland to Vancouver and from here to Spokane.
From that point, we grew our labor education advancement program to include recruiters for journey level people, recruiters for apprenticeship programs, and then when it became evident that women were going to start working in non-traditional areas, we were one of the first to get that program from the national office.
By December '83, we were able to land the Tacoma Urban League Skills Training Center, a joint venture that was started in 1968 between IBM and the Los Angeles Urban League.
And at that time, the Skills Training Center was training people, basically low-income people, on computers and getting them ready to go out into the business world and work at companies like Weyerhaeuser and Boeing and some of the other companies. And some of the partners in that venture was Puget Sound National Bank, IBM, and several others, Weyerhaeuser to be included.
And there are so many positive things. We got different training programs started at the Urban League. Through Bates, we got a clerical training skills center set up down there, and we helped them to do that. Then I eventually went on to work at Bates, but originally I was with Tacoma Public Schools.
And the program was growing, and we needed more space for that program. So Tom and I was chairman of the board at the time, so Tom and I went out and we put together a budget that was supposed to cost $250,000 to create a space of 5,000 square feet. And we began to try to raise money for that. And consequently, we did bring in Rod Hagenboo from Merrill Lynch to help us raise that money. As it turned out, when the project was finished, it was over $500,000.
So with the erection of the Skills Training Center in '83, our budget then had been increased to about $2.3 or $4 million. And we were able to keep the budget from that point forward, '83 December, till I retired. The budget averaged $2.5 million with about 14 or 15 action programs, again, in education, training and employment, health and welfare, other areas of civil rights and community and economic development.
The Urban League has been a training ground for the leaders of Tacoma. People like Jim Walton, Wayne Williams. I could go down the list, and I know I'll probably make somebody mad because I forget, Victoria Woodard. People like that who are now taking up the mantle of community leadership that those of us who are now at the time where it's time for us to retire, that the Urban League has helped create a new leadership in Tacoma that will continue to push. This is the month of Dr. Martin Luther King, to push that dream for opportunity for all of us.
With the Urban League, they made a way for me to begin to build some of that career experience that I didn't have coming straight out of college. And that's, I think, the case for most students coming straight out of college. You're looking for internships, you're looking for jobs. With the Urban League, you had the opportunity to institutionalize efforts to make a better life for African Americans in this city.
The Urban League became a vehicle that I saw as a place that I could be in the community. A new person to the community, a new college campus, a new community. That's all a lot to take in, coming from Southern California. And there was just a welcoming there. I'd walk in and I'd know that I could be heard. I had questions. The Urban League was a place, and through Thomas Dixon, that I know that I could get a lot of answers, a lot of institutional knowledge about the community. He ushered me into meetings with key people in the community, mentored me, challenged me when I left to go to New York, and welcomed me back in 1999. And we just picked up right where we left off. And that's what the Urban League represents to me, a safe place.
I, like a great number of people, have been touched by the Urban League. When I moved to this area 20-some years ago, one of the first stops, part of my acclimation to this community was through the Urban League. When I first met Tom Dixon and Jim Dawson and others that helped me find a career path and an acclimation to this community and have been a support base for me.
Places like the Urban League are so important for this community. And there's a theme that we say, or a tagline that we have, and it says, once an Urban Leaguer, always an Urban Leaguer. And till the day I die, if there's ever anything I can do personally, professionally, or any time I can give, I'll always give it to the Urban League because it's just that important.
Hi, Mr. Dixon. How you doing?
Pretty good.
Nice to see you.
26.
46.
Came to see Dr. Anderson.
Okay, let me get her for you.
Okay.
Good morning, Mr. Dixon. How are you?
Hello, I'm Dorothy Anderson, President and CEO of the Tacoma Urban League. What you have just witnessed is our 40-year history from 1968 to 2008. I feel privileged and honored to sit in this position following in the footsteps of our founder, Mr. Thomas Dixon. It's with that respect and regard that I take this position and the opportunity to make a contribution to Tacoma and the greater Pierce County with much respect and regard. I look forward to inviting new partnerships and asking you to join us as we move forward to meet new challenges, but more so to meet opportunities for meeting our vision for the future. Thank you.